Hi everybody, it's me, Plantine Charlene, and today's video is going to be about my Marble Queen, Pothos, and my Lemon Lime Philodendron as my two plants of the week. Before I go any further, you guys know I like to do my shout outs. I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone who has watched the video, commented, liked, subscribed to my channel, shared, or clicked the bell to know when a new video is posted. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And I want to talk about why I made this plant one of my plants of the week. So first thing, the variegation. Look at those leaves. Look at how pretty that is. Unless you don't like that, but for me, I find this to be such a beautiful thing about this plant. The cream and the green look so nice. Some leaves have more cream, some leaves have more green in it. Whichever is your preference, you can definitely get it with this plant. Another reason why I like this plant so much is because it's very easy to propagate. So you see here, you have 1, 2 nodes. I'm going to give you a closer view of that so you can see what I'm talking about. But with that, you can easily cut in between each node and have yourself a new plant. You can stick it either in water and let it root and then put it in soil, or you can just stick it right back in the same plant that it came from, the mother plant, or you can start a whole new plant yourself. And since we're talking about propagating, let's talk about growth. So this plant grows in a, I don't know how to explain it. So you have this stem, and you can see there are very tall stems here, right? But notice that they're not vining over. It's not trailing like a basic pothos does. This plant grows in an sorry. It grows in an upright position. So you're gonna keep that bushiness. Another reason why I really like this plant. And that makes it easy for it to go and grow up a trellis or a moss pole or a totem pole, whatever your preference is. You can even take a basic piece of 2x4 wood, stick it in the soil, tie it up either with Velcro, plant wrap. I'm sorry, it's the Velcro tie wraps, or you can just use string, and eventually these, what I said is aerial roots, will start to grow into whatever you, whether again the totem pole, the wood, it'll grow right into it and start trailing up. Another thing that I appreciate about this plant are the leaves, the leaf size that is. So there's no consistency to the leaf size, but you'll notice that even though this plant trails upward, the leaf size varies. So here we have this leaf that's one of the biggest leaves, and right next to it, it's almost as big but not exactly. And then you have this one. So I'm showing you so far there's 3 different leaf sizes here. Then I may have, oh, that one ripped. I saw a small one. Oh, here we go. This one is pretty small. Now it is under the canopy of the leaves above it, so it's not receiving as much light, but it's a fairly new leaf as well. So that also could be the reason why this one is so small. But before I know it, this one will have gotten taller and therefore be about the same size as the ones, any one of them above it. Another thing about this plant that I appreciate is how fast it grows. So this plant already has 3 new leaves in the past week. There's one here. I'm sorry. One there. One here. And I can't find the other one. But it's somewhere. It's in here. I see a new one coming here. And I'll say on average, I get about 3 to 4 new leaves a week, which is pretty nice because we're what, in February? And this is quote unquote the non-growing season. That's why I don't want to say what's a growing season and what's not, because if your plant is growing fairly well, then it's still a growing season for that plant. Slight correction, I see 2 to 3 new leaves about every 3 to 4 weeks. So let's talk soil for this plant. I currently don't know what it's sitting in because I purchased it, but it looks like it's basic sphagnum peat moss with perlite. I do use a product called Good Dirt, And in good dirt, there's sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and what they call forest products that consist of who knows what. But if you take a look at it, you can see there's different things in this soil. What I will add to the soil for like a slow releasing fertilizer is worm castings, because for me the worm castings is one of the best types of fertilizer you can add. I won't add a lot because I also water with fertilizer, so I want to be careful that I'm not giving any of my plants too much fertilizer should I use the worm castings. Okay, that's it for the Snow Queen / Marble Queen. You guys can tell me below which one do you really believe that one is, because I appreciate any kind of help you can give me. All right, guys, so it's time to move on to the next plant, which is the lemon lime philodendron. I just want to really show off how pretty this plant is. Between the size of the leaves, the color, and how pretty even the stems are. Do you see that? I think this plant is absolutely gorgeous, and that's the reason why it also made plant of the week for me. This plant is such a fast grower. As you see here, there are three new leaves coming at minimum. Actually, it's 5 new leaves coming, 6 at minimum. It sits in my bedroom window along with the Marble Queen Pothos, but this one is in a hanging pot, so it's getting more sun than the Pothos does, and it's really appreciating all of the light that it receives. One of the reasons, other than me talking about the growth and the color of the leaves, is how easy this plant also is for propagating. You can cut this plant. So here you see in the soil, it's looking a little bald on this side. Now the main reason for that is not because this plant doesn't grow full in here, but it's growing so fast, and it's only growing on the side that that is receiving the sun. So when I first received it, it was looking fuller, and then with all the new growth that came along, it started going over to the other side where the light is, and I didn't want to turn it back because I didn't want it going back like this. I just want to keep it this way. I like the fact that it's only growing on one side, and it looks so pretty and full. It works for me. So I just want to go back to the ease of the growth of this plant, or the speed. This plant pushes out on average, now that we're getting more light because of all of the kind of dreary, snowy weather we had, it's giving me on average at least 4 to 5 leaves every two weeks, about every 2 weeks. And the size of the leaves are increasing as well. This is one of the biggest leaves that it has. When I first purchased it, I would say the leaves were on average about looking like this. So the more this oh God. I was going to say the more this plant matures, the bigger these leaves will get. This plant also, as well as the Pothos, because they are very similar, it's very easy to grow up a moss pole or whatever you want to use to grow it upward. I like the way this trails. I don't want this to grow upward. Where I noted with the Pothos, it was growing in an upright position. This one you can see is easily trailing over. These vines are not that long, but they're long enough that it will, even with this one, it's not long at all. But look how it's immediately going into a trailing type of growth. And you can easily propagate, as I noted earlier. You would cut right, oh, it's kind of hard to show you guys. I'm gonna do a close-up view on where you would cut. And once you cut in that area, you can stick that right into either water or soil. It's like the Pothos and the Philodendron are twins. Stick that right into soil, and then, or you can stick it into water, sorry, and wait for the roots to grow if you do it in water, or if you stick it right into soil, it'll root and it'll just continue its growth from that point. This plant is just so easy to care for, and it's probably one of the reasons why I'm not the only person who really likes this plant so much. I want to just get back to the color of the leaves. So as you can see, and I want to bring that in for you guys, you can see that there is, this is one of the newer plants. That's how you can tell the newer plants versus the more mature plants, the color of the leaves. So you see here how this has like an orangey or burnt orange red look to it. When this leaf develops, it will eventually have this kind of coloring to it. You can see here, these two are not as mature as this one, but you can see that coloration. So as it grows and it gets larger, it'll turn into this, which will eventually turn into this, which will eventually turn into this. And that's where it gets this beautiful name, the lemon lime philodendron. Another similarity for this plant as for the pothos is the type of soil and the watering. Both of these plants do not need to be watered often. You don't want to have these plants sitting in wet soil, because that is no good for this plant. This is the kind of plant, like the pothos and this philodendron, you want to let that soil dry out completely. Not even worrying about, oh, it's only, stick your finger in there, see if it's dry within the first knuckle or two, or 50% of the size of the pot that it's in. This plant can deal with being dried out completely. You don't want to leave it dried out completely for too long. But if you do forget to water this plant, it will let you know. You'll see that the leaves are starting to curl, and that means you want to water it as soon as possible. But if you find that, oh my God, I forgot to water it, it's very forgiving. It'll grow from droopy and curled up to upright and straight. All right, guys, that is it. That were my 2 plants for the week. I hope you liked what you saw and you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Please comment below and let me know what you think. Do you have those plants? Are they easy cares for you? Are they on your wish list and you hope to get them soon? Whatever it is, please let me know below. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless. Bye.